Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of Unedited. I'm your host, Patrick, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Alex. Are you tired of hearing this intro yet? Because we're tired of saying it. How are we doing tonight, Alex?
Me no hablas, Alex.
Mio no habla in the words. Okay, so,
Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it.
I've already forgotten.
Already at to a start.
Yeah, so here's the deal, guys. Did you know there exists a mutant love child of flaming hot Cheetos and spicy nacho Doritos? Do you know that?
We're not about these Doritos all day.
And I got them at Walmart, okay? And I am not sponsored by any of these people, so insert name here. But here's the thing. They're literally everything I love about those two types of chips in one. And I couldn't be happier. I bought 4 bags without even knowing what they taste like. I stocked up.
I'm willing to bet he could do a whole episode, an hour, just talking about how good these chips are.
They're so good. And I'm actually not eating them right now to speak to you lovely people. And talk to Alex, of course. But mainly to you people.
He calls me earlier, and he's like, I got these chips. And I'm like, yeah, cool. And so, every, 2 minutes, and I'm trying to ignore it because I know he's doing it on purpose.
I do things like that on purpose. Hold on, were you saying something?
I could be saying some serious shit like, no, dude, my hamster died for real, and it was the worst thing that happened. Like he had the worst kind of hamster disease, and dang, that sucks. These chips are amazing, dude. You really they'll brighten your day. You'll make you forget about the hamster.
That's why serial killers don't really or wouldn't really have a good time with me. I wouldn't give them the time of day. I'd be like, no, I get it. You're going to kill me, but hang on a second. I'd be like, you want one? No? Okay. Fuck, you lucky bastard. I offered you one. Jesus. Yeah, anyway. I bought 4 bags. I just said, you know what? I want to have these on hand when I want them. So I got 4 bags. That was really just a small little blurb, but I figured I'd mention it because Cheetos, flaming hot Cheetos, no less, with spicy nacho Dorito combined, guys, combined. Some of you are out there breathing heavy, just as excited as I am about it. I know it. Anyways, my next little talking point. I wanted to ask Alex.
Wait,
and I've had a lot of what's up?
Wait. Remember what you're gonna say. Do you have it written down in your little notebook?
No, I don't have a notebook.
I want you to remember it. And I want you to do your best commercial for Flaming Hot the chips right now. I'm an executive coming up to you with $100. Give me a 30-second commercial on these chips. Do your best. And you know what? No. You know what? Do it in the style of Rod Sterling, just as a throwback to what we just talked about. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I'm not gonna do that. These poor people have heard enough commercials. All right. I just want to have a conversation about stuff in life, man.
I feel like you would do it though. I feel like you would nail it. In a world where the regular Dorito chip is just boring and mundane, a chip comes along and shakes things up, makes it really hot, especially in the Dorito zone.
Actually, I've been thinking in terms of the Twilight Zone a lot lately. I was eating these two Walmart cheeseburgers. You can buy them, in the prepackaged. They're called the double charbroil things, but they're like $2 a piece, and they're bad for you and probably styrofoam. But I got two of them, and they're pretty hefty, and I'm microwaving them. And somebody says to me like, hey, why don't you eat any vegetables? It's just as inexpensive, and you can microwave those too. And I said, I of course I'm like, yeah, I could, but yeah, no. But what I was thinking was, how ironic would it be if somebody that refused to eat vegetables a day in his life became a vegetable, and then like a coma? Like, that would be an interesting thing, like an episode.
Are you
what?
trying to allude to something with me?
Allude to what? What do you mean?
I feel like you're trying to tell me something and you're worried about me. You don't need to worry about me. I don't need vegetables, man.
Don't be conceited. I'm the one that was eating junk food.
Why did you go jumping right into conceited?
Because you're like, listen, I know you're trying to tell me something, but
well, my diet is pretty trash.
Mine's probably worse though.
No, you actually put stuff in like a burrito.
Oh yeah, I suppose. I guess it kind of fits. So here's the deal. My next talking point was another forward-thinking talking point, similar to when I asked how you saw the future of Unedited, right?
Right.
But I guess my question is, what are your aspirations or hopes for 2019? What do you hope this year will bring you? And don't say the quick go-to answer that I already know that pops into your head when I say that.
What was it, Siri?
No, I thought you were going to say dying in your sleep peacefully.
Whoa! Since when have I said anything depressing like that ever? Ever on recorded format? Ever?
About 14 times.
Okay, but if we're going to be for real, I guess.
Serial. You got to be super serial, in the words of Chad.
Oh, I wish I could have edited that. That's one part of that video I wish I would have edited out.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. But anyways,
I just want to say, like, we were improvising and we were getting into it, but like,
I bet you were getting into it all the time.
Oh yeah, all up in that. But I feel like that is such a like preschool term. Like, hey guys, I'm super serial right now. Yeah, we've all seen that episode of South Park. Yeah, you're super original. But
yeah,
I'm sorry in case he is listening. But
he might
anyway,
be.
I to answer the question, I kind of want to think lucratively this year, like
money.
Yeah, like I'm in like 2 music projects right now, and I feel like that video, the commercial that I made for us, shows that I have at least some sort of basic editing skills that are.
I just wanted to say, Alex in no way edited that video. That would be totally against our principles on this channel. So I just want to make you guys aware and comfortable.
Oh,
knowing that that video went without editing, Alex, and it was just totally natural, and everything is natural.
Yep.
Every day is exactly the same. And I hate to interrupt you. I'm sorry about that, Alex.
I like the 9 Inch Nails reference you just made.
No.
But yeah, anyway, I feel like I have a decent skill at editing, and I can. I'm in 2 music projects. Something should be making some sort of cash,
Yeah, totally.
and including this project. Whether I'm making more unedited video ads or something, or making a music video or something. I want to do something that's gonna somehow, or make a solo album, or somehow make money.
Alex is desperate, folks. He needs dinner. He needs you to buy him food. So go to your nearest UNICEF and donate some money.
There's a checkbox at the very bottom of the slip, of the donation slip, and it gets me extra money. So just check that box and we'll be good.
So what's funny, actually, and I don't mind saying this, Alex has been making a decent amount of money off of me. I've been taking out short-term loans from him and paying him like 50% interest and 20% interest, 25% interest.
It's kind of turned into a second job for me, and
it works out pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it really does. Like, yeah, I'll be like a little short for like 2 days or 3 days or a week at most, but then it's like a second paycheck. So I'm like, oh, because I'm so terrible with my money that like it doesn't even faze me when I don't have it. I just assume that like, oh, this is my life. I don't have the money, and I forget that I even give it to you in the first place.
But I always pay you back with interest.
He has always paid me back with interest, and
when I borrow 40, I pay him back 60, and when I borrow 60, I pay him back 80, and so on and so forth. Yeah,
it hasn't gone any higher than that. I honestly hope it doesn't, because I don't have that kind of cash.
Alex, I need 10 grand. Don't ask any questions.
Take out a loan.
I don't care who you have to. I don't know who you have to murder. Just do it.
You give me 10 grand, I'll give you back 30 grand. Let's go.
That's actually, I mean, on a larger scale, that's kind of the equivalent to what I'm doing. But maybe someday, it'll get to that point, and my life will be in the shitter. Anyways, I borrowed 10 grand from a bookie.
If you know how much faith I have in you, if you told me, if I had the money and you told me, hey, there's this thing I got to do. I don't even need to know what it is, but like, there's this thing I can do.
I don't even give you a reason anymore.
No, you don't. Just like, let me borrow $80 and I'll give you back 100. Like, okay. And it's dumb because I don't even ask anymore. I'm just like, yeah, sure,
whatever, man. Fuck it. Because we trust each other on that level at this point.
He could be buying knives, and I'd be like, oh, well, that's his choice.
I always tell him the terms before I borrow the money, though. I say X amount for this amount on this day, and it always goes through that way. Like, it's not like, hey man, I'll pay you back whenever. It's like, this is the day I'm paying you back, and then I do. It's a little bit different. But I work in banking, so I guess that's kind of where I'm pulling that from.
But what I was trying to say is like, I have so much faith in you that like, if you came to me and said, hey, there's this, whether it's gambling or whatever, there's this thing I can get you back. If you loan me $500, I can give that back to you plus what would
You're regretting your decision right now.
No, I'm just trying to. I'm horrible at math. Like, so that would be like 800 back or something.
Yeah.
If you told
totally
me that,
possible.
I would be like, yeah,
dangerous,
sure.
But yeah, possible.
I would try.
I would never risk that kind of money, especially if I didn't have it to begin with. In fact, anytime I borrow money, that means I'm like, I don't gamble with any, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm at the point where I'm borrowing money, I can't afford to gamble anyways. That's how I feel. That's just my thing. But when it's payday, what? I mean, I sent him a picture of this win I had earlier, 180,000, or not 180,000, $180, 185 actually, this morning before
Which
work.
is a good win.
Yeah. Let's see how long it lasts me.
You know, I've been having such shit luck at the casino lately.
Have you been going?
About every other week, yeah.
Oh, really?
But it's nothing major. Like, I think about 20 to 40 bucks each time.
Every time you go to your dad's, probably, huh?
Yeah, because he lives near the casino here in location, and after I see him, and it's literally I drive past it, and sometimes I will go in and do a 20 or 40, and my goal is to either double it or just win the money back, and I almost never do that. I haven't done that in about 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So I've basically been giving the Indians their just due for the last 2 months.
I'm offended.
Are you an Indian?
I'm Native American, Chippewa Blackfoot, more than an eighth. I don't know what the. Anyways, I had like a grandparent.
You have a chip on your black foot?
Chippewa, Blackfoot.
Well, you should take the chip off your black foot. Maybe that's why it's black.
Anyways, have you ever seen a person in public and you were just like, is that even a person right now? Or is that just the idea of what that person should be? Let's talk about that for a second. I want to like, because I have one example.
Hey, is this like an episode of Black Mirror or something? Because this already like is making me bleed out my eyes. Wow.
What do you mean?
That sounds like such like a Black Mirror episode. Like, what if like we're all actually just empty husks, but what we're seeing of each other is our projected image of how we feel of ourselves.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So we have all of these like. No, they like, you know how you have that typical frat guy carrying the football, wearing the jersey when he's not going anywhere to play sports. He's just wearing the jersey with the football in his hand. You have the typical frat guy. You have the typical valley girl. You know, like, oh my God, I literally can't right now. You know, like that kind of character.
Yeah.
I saw that person, literally, like big sunglasses and all, daddy bought her a nice car. Like, I saw that person in public talking to somebody, and I heard it, and I twitched. I was like, ugh. You know, like I had like involuntary. Ugh. I had an involuntary situation, and I was like, why is that? Is that a person? Is that a personality? Is it? How does that person exist, yo? Like,
I'm more focused on the noise you made.
Of course you would be, weird ASMR freak. No,
it sounds like Homer Simpson grunting during sex.
Oh yeah, that's a good
March.
Point is, how do people lack? I mean, this person I saw, you know, like just your stereotypical blonde, big sunglasses, you know, big everything else, but like 19 years old in this situation, and you're like, how does that even happen? How does that exist? How is that a person? Is this person like real right now, or is this like an idea of what that person should be? You know, or is there like a personality behind it?
Are you saying that they are acting how they think they should be acting, or how they want to be acting, and not how they truly are?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that a person, or is that somebody just being what their idea of that person should be? Like, do these people actually exist, or are they doing what they feel they should do because they're in a position they're in?
Huh.
I know that that's probably got a lot of people scratching their heads or maybe like bleeding out of their eyeballs. But it's just that's what hits me. That's what I think about. That's why I cringe, is because I'm like, you could be more, couldn't you? Or you are more, aren't you? You know,
That could be for anybody and everybody.
but that's what I'm saying.
To be honest, I'm guilty of that too.
Well, think the. I mean, and I don't want anybody to be offended. Some people would take pride in this. Think about the Hickley redneck type, who's like buying his beer. He's got his ball cap on. He's just got done hitting his wife or something, and he's like, yeah, But you see him in public, and you're like, are you really that guy, or are you just the idea of that guy? Do you really want to be that guy? Or is it just what you've come to understand? I'm having a moment. I'm sorry. I apologize, everybody listening.
Here's the thing. And I'm not sure if this is
dangerous thinking, right?
It is. It very much so is. I don't know if I mentioned my dad too much on this. But one of my things growing up as a person, as an adult, is I don't want to be exactly like my dad. Like he has quirks and habits that I want to avoid having as an adult. So I will catch myself doing something or saying something in the vein that my dad would say, and I would actively I said like again. That's another thing I hate. And and I would just I can't stop saying like. I would have a rubber band around my arm or something and just snap it or something every time something similar to that would happen. If I make a joke that would sound similar to what he would say or something, I would I'm gonna try not to do that ever again. But because it doesn't feel like something organic, not. I'm losing my train of thought.
It feels manufactured.
Yeah, like you're following.
Like you didn't have a choice.
Like you're following.
Like you didn't have a choice
or something. Yeah, and like with relationships and even like talking to you right now, it's habitually I have to go against what I think would be funny or interesting. So then I hyper analyze everything I say.
I can tell.
Which in turn ends up what'd you say?
I said I can tell.
Yeah. So that's why I start talking like William Shatner sometimes. Oh no, it's more Christopher Walken. I just don't want to say the wrong thing sometimes. Sometimes I'll just go off the cuff and and
well to draw it back to the main topic, consider this. You're a person that's never worked in banking before, and now you're in banking, right? And They expect you to be the idea or portray the idea of what people expect to see in a bank employee, or anything else. Like if you're a freaking gas station attendant, they want you to project the idea of what a gas station attendant should be to the customers. If you're the oh no, that's a bad example. I was going to say, if you're the president, they expect you to project the idea of what the president is. But I don't want to go there. That's too political, and it wasn't intentional.
Let's just put up a wall around that idea for a second.
It's such a fake laugh. I didn't care. The point I'm trying to make is these people that you see, like, how many of them are actually that way, or just like a product of a societal idea that's so entrenched, you know? Or can they be changed? Can they change? Could they just say on a dime, "Oh, I hit my head. Now what? Now what do I do?"
I feel like it's more of the second thing you said, where it's not they're not really like that, but it's society or socially what's implemented onto them. Because I've seen people hang out with a certain group, and they will be the redneck, like you said, drinking, yeah, I'll do Metallica, yeah, and
Metallica,
yeah, and then they'll hang out with another group of people, and they'll be more artistic and intellectual. And that's not to say rednecks can't be intellectual, but it's more. I'm not saying people are two-faced or anything, but
they make an effort.
Yeah. And although it would be scary to see a redneck still acting like a redneck around intellectuals, because then the intellectuals wouldn't want to be around the redneck because
it's not entirely true. But I see your point. Like, it can make them uncomfortable or feel unsafe. But to stem off of this whole idea, I find that on a daily basis, imagine an individual, and don't make this a monologue for Twilight Zone. Imagine an individual with several personalities reaching out like leaves on a tree, and their entire life is just spent trying to pull them back into one solid being. So throughout my many hats, throughout my many jobs, my day-to-day, I struggle to stay me. Regardless of what I have to portray, I pull it all in to try to be the same person at, every turn. Because if you're not disingenuous, you never have anything to hide. And that's something I strive for. Everybody needs to strive for it, right? But you can literally feel yourself pulling one way or another with the anger, the frustration, or the depression, or the excitement, or the you pull it all together. You know what? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of digressing, but maybe some of you understand what I'm trying to say. Instead of just taking the easy route and letting it go and being what they expect you to be, it's expect. You hear me? Oh my God, what they expect you to be. Maybe people are taking that easy road and they're just saying, this is the idea of what I'm supposed to be, so this is what must be,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of at this weird crossroads that I'm at. I feel like the people are expecting me to do something, and I'm kind of following that. Like, I do. Like, I don't know if we ever had that age-old argument that you had in high school about college.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not sure if I want to go to college or if it's just ingrained from everybody. Like, oh, you need to go to college. Like, do I really want to, or could I just, keep living my life?
I mean, I've been right so far.
Yeah. I mean, you're turning into a regular Bill Gates over here. Or is it Steve Jobs? Or is it both of them?
I mean, do you know who really took our jobs?
Damn Mongolians?
Cancer.
Oh.
That's such a horrible joke. Steve Jobs had cancer.
Yeah. I got that.
I'm sorry, guys. Steve Jobs was a wonderful man, and he made a bunch of stupid technological devices. And I say stupid because Android's better. In his memory, though, the iPod Nanos were pretty cool back in the day. How many people could I have upset with that? Like diehard technology people, like, That's not cool, man. But
I've never truly met anyone
he's a visionary.
I've never truly met anyone that was that into technology. I've seen people who are, hardcore into, music or certain literature or TV shows and stuff, like Star Wars geeks and all that stuff. Never met anyone that was that like Apple, man. It's I've seen people.
Well, no. Hold on. People that love their iPhones, like literally make love to their iPhones. I don't know who you've met. Every iPhone user I've met is like, oh my God, Android's trash. This is better. Blah, blah, blah. You suck. And I'm like, why do I suck? It's a phone. But yeah.
Well, I've met people that say one thing's better than the other, but most of them also preface that with, oh, who fucking cares?
You must hang out with a lot of pragmatic people.
Yeah, I do hang out with a lot of pregnant people. It's pretty weird.
Pragmatic?
Yeah, pregnant. Yeah.
Okay. What's next on the dossier? So Alex has prepared a couple of talking points. He told me that he wanted to submit some, so let's hear
them. I feel kind of bad today.
Why? Been listening to too much Tom Waits?
Yeah, actually, there's this one. I don't even think it's a song, but it's one of his weirder songs. It's called "What's He Building in There?"
Oh, that sounds cool.
And it's just he goes into great detail about like this house on a corner, and of course, it's in that Tom Waits voice of like, yeah, he says he's 21, but he's only his license plate, his ID says he's only 20 years old or something. Like, he just goes on and on about, yeah, I walk past the house and I hear moaning and hammering and what's he building in there? He says it, but that has nothing to do with anything really. But today is usually the day I drive down to see my dad. And
sounds like the start of a song too.
I was supposed to see my daddy today, but I had to build a shelf. My daddy's sitting all alone at home, but I had to build my shelf.
Yeah. Tom Waits has a song called "I'm Not Drunk, the Piano Is," or something like that.
Yep.
I'm not drunk, but the piano is hammered. How does it go?
My piano has been drinking, and the carpet has a hair tie, and the searchlights are a prison break, and the piano keys are fallopian tubes. He just says the most random shit, but
it's beautiful.
Yeah. It has a weird air of poetic justice to it.
Yeah, just like a big middle finger to societal norms, which I like. That's Tom Waits we're talking about. TOMWAITS, in case you haven't listened to him before. I mean, it's older music for those of you that only listen to the new stuff, but it's good. It's good stuff.
One of his biggest songs is Jersey Girl. That's been covered by a lot of people.
Yeah. But a good musician overall, and definitely worth watching his interviews or listening to his music in case you haven't. He could have been the Joker. I remember watching this one interview and I'm like, that is like exactly like what's his name's Joker.
Heath Ledger based a lot of his vocal and movements on Tom Waits. You know that, right?
Oh, that's actually true. So it was a chicken and egg situation. Okay. I was comparing Tom Waits to the Joker, but realistically, the Joker got his traits from Tom Waits. Oh, it rhymed. I'm sick.
Anyways. Yeah. There was a interview with Heath Ledger, and they said, "Well, how did you get in the role?" He one of the things was, he watched a couple Tom Waits interviews, and he liked the way his voice sounded and how he walked and talked, and so. Yeah, good on you for catching that. That's a deep cut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds strange. Alex and I are still streaming on our Twitches, and we're not great, but we're okay. Again, if you enjoy that kind of stuff, we've said the names before. We don't have to say them again. You could refer to episode 14 if you haven't heard.
But just in case,
no. Just
are you really like trying to advertise past episodes?
No, that's not what I'm saying. You know what we can tell them? Junior Aces.
There you
23.
go.
And then you've got Black Tull 89.
TULL 89.
There you go. You got
now I had to call you out on that because
I wasn't referencing. I was just saying, hey, that's where we said it.
But you in a weird way, you're like, hey, we need you to go listen to episode 14 entirely because I have no idea when I advertised our Twitch. It wasn't at the very beginning. It was probably, I think, like 14, 15 minutes in. And
well, now everybody knows that.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys want to see some wacky antics, follow me at BlackTull89 on Twitch and Patrick Junior Aces at Junior Aces what?
23.
Junior Aces 23 also on Twitch. I have no life.
Yeah. Any hooser. I'm
sorry. Patrick made it a point for me to stop talking down about myself. I'm going to try not to.
Didn't I? I think I did, didn't I?
Wow,
I'm a great friend. I didn't remember.
Well, you in a weird way you kind of did, because we hadn't done a podcast in a minute, and before we started, and you said something like, hey, let's not talk down about ourselves. And
well, and here you are in a roundabout way doing it. No, okay, let me clarify what I said. I said that we don't need to air out the fact that we think we suck most of the time.
Yeah.
Because we don't suck most of the time. We suck sometimes, like everybody. And yeah, so if you think you suck all the time, you don't. You only suck some of the times.
Yeah.
Unless you're Paris Hilton, because then you suck all of the time. Heyo. No.
And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging the times that you do suck. It's just trying not to dwell on those moments. That I feel like that's where a lot of people start to suffer, is when they dwell on, breakups or the weird encounter at the gas station or whatever. It's like, man, I fucking suck. I did that. And it's like, sure, you sucked in that 3 minutes that happened, but you play guitar well, you change a tire very good.
Yeah,
you don't suck all the time.
And if you've ever had like an encounter where somebody flirts with you and you're like, wow, that person was really attractive, that guy or girl or whatever, and then like they're gone, and you're like, well, now they're gone forever. Well, don't get down on yourself about not doing something, because I know some people do. They start to immediately feel like, oh, ruined my chance. That could have been it. The fact is, you're probably going to see that person again. And if you do, don't be weird. All right? Just let things go. Let things flow. Let things, happen like they're supposed to.
Well,
and don't be weird in that way.
One thing I used to say, because I work in the customer service field, one thing I used to say is that I fall in love like probably 4 or 5 times a day.
Well, that's the thing. They say a woman knows within 10 seconds of meeting somebody whether or not they would sleep with them or be in a relationship with them, right?
Right.
Well, I think women think more in terms of like physical attributes, maybe. And I know I'm going to get crucified for this, and I'm also going to get crucified for saying crucified. But I think men think it more in terms of like, I mean, obviously we think physical traits, but we also think could I stand to look at that for the next 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, but she's probably like way out of my league. Okay. Yeah. Like usually that's my thought process. I'm like, wow, she's kind of pretty, like, and seems really nice. And then you're like, but I suck.
But another thing is, could you stand to listen to that voice?
That's another thing. Yes, definitely.
And like, because physical attributes, yeah. Are they a nice person? Yeah. But I know it seems like a little thing, but sometimes, a certain person's voice could be like, no.
I've
And
heard it, dude.
I'm not talking about the Gilbert Gottfried voice. I'm not talking about that, but it's sometimes certain people have a tone in their voice or a certain inflection that's, ooh, I'm not gonna wake up to that every morning. Nope.
Well, and yeah, and I mean, I can give you an example. There was this one person, one female, one woman that I was talking to, didn't go very far, still in the conversation stage. Then we were talking on the phone, and her whole voice was just so Aunt Franny or whatever her name is. It was just very oh my god, like Nick Kroll's imitation of a blonde Valley girl. That's what this person sounded like, except actually as a woman. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, no. Anyways, yeah, that's I think that's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm referring to.
And side note, not every girl that's attractive has to be nice. Sometimes they can be mean. The good kind of relatable mean, like me.
Like me?
Except I'm a guy, and I would be. I mean, sometimes I've hit it off with a chick just because we had like the same things to bitch about. That's what I'm trying to say. We were both like, yeah, that's pretty dumb. I don't know why they do that. And it's like, really? You think the same things I do? That's cool, But
well, like, and it's always this weird kind of like, oh wow, I never thought you'd think. I've never met anyone that thought like that. And you're sitting there like, really, someone of your caliber has not met. Okay, sure. I don't believe you, but sure.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure you're just saying that, but cool, whatever. And you'll say that because you feel comfortable telling things because you can relate to them.
Well, do you ever try to like say a joke or something along the lines of something that is you to somebody and it totally just comes off as weird?
Yes.
And it's like noticeably weird in the conversation. Like,
and you have to like backpedal a little bit, like, oh yeah, because jokes, right?
yeah, like making a joke about conspiracies or something, like, like it's
Steve Jobs getting cancer or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I'll say something along the lines of, it's all a conspiracy anyway. Not being serious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a whole nother topic, but
it really is.
But I'm not being serious when I say shit like that at work because I'm not trying to get into a conversation with someone trying to buy a pack of smokes about the lizard people living in the White House.
Oh,
I'm just saying, look, I'm just trying to be funny, and you looked way too deep into it, and now I'm listening to you bitch at me about lizard people in the White House.
Dude, I've had that happen where they're like, no, totally. There's giant. Okay, how did they put it? They told me about the red-haired giant of Kandahar and fucking aliens and like the chariots of fire in the Bible and then like the Nazca lines and like they went on a whole thing and I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. Stop, please.
Now,
Stop it.
have you ever said "stop it" to a complete stranger like that? Like any sort of circumstance?
I may have phrased it differently, but I meant the same thing. I've done one of these. I've said, hold on. I can't take any more of this. Okay. I've said something like that. I'm like, you're like, I act like they're actually getting through to me. I said, you're going to make my head explode. Stop. I've done that. And they've gone, oh, okay. You're going to look it up. And I'm like, yeah, I'll look it up. And then I don't look it up. Just to get out of that awkward conversation, you have to act like they're blowing your mind.
Like, whoa, wait, what? No.
You're fucking kidding. Get the fuck out of here. Go. What am I even doing here? Can you even imagine if you started frothing at the mouth and throwing shit around? They'd be like, no, that's not, no. Can you imagine? You're fucking kidding me. This whole time, Brenda, you fucking bitch. Brenda, why didn't you tell me? Here I am working for this amount of money an hour. And there's fucking lizard people. Joe told me all about it. I'm out of here. And then just storm out. And then after the customer leaves, come back 15 minutes later and say, oh, they took care of that one, didn't we? They won't come back here again. And if they do, I'll just twitch.
Oh my God.
Sorry. I apologize to anybody's ears that may have been destroyed by that. I didn't mean to like swear a bunch, but I was committing to the caricature scene.
Oh God. Wow. I needed that laugh today. Wow.
I'm talking flip the tables and throw stuff around. That's what I'm talking about. And that'd be a really fun way to quit a job, honestly. Like, no, you're not fucking telling me this to stay. No, and just get really livid and just have that customer that said something innocent feel guilty for making you lose your shit and quit your job. Even though you were planning on doing it anyways. Oh, that would be satisfying, because then that person would just have this crazy story to tell for the rest of their lives. And then he just quit his job just like that. And now I don't talk to people about conspiracies anymore. You just like cause them this trauma to where they can't talk about certain things because they're worried they're going to cause that to happen again. Or they're just going to be super weird about it with anybody they ever have a conversation. They'll like whisper it. They'll look around and they'll whisper it. On the off chance you'll hear them.
It would be funny if it was like a small town and you were at like a bar or something and that person happened to be there.
Oh God.
And then you just
freak out again.
It's like, it's you that showed me the way.
You fucking saved my life, man. My wife was a lizard and I got rid of her. Don't tell anybody.
I'm not sure about the son though. I keep him in a cage in the basement just in case.
But don't love to have you over for drinks sometime. See you later. That would be satisfying on some sadistic level, yeah. If you committed to it and you really kept at it. I mean, yeah, that would be. I mean, they'd call the cops, but then the cops would show up and know that you didn't have a son or a wife because you're so alone. Because all you do is make jokes to strangers. Anyways.
And then they find out in your free time that you just do a podcast with someone in fucking California.
Uganda? Oh.
Uganda. Even better. A prince in Uganda. No, he says he'll send me $10,000 if I give him my check. Yeah.
See, this is the kind of friend you need to have, people. One that knows the joke you're making before you make it. And can totally ruin it for you. Anyways.
I don't know if we mentioned this in the last podcast, but you did point out that we are pretty weirdly syncopated.
Yeah, we know what the other one is probably going to say before they say it. And I mean, I chalk that up to just talking a lot. But yeah,
Which I find interesting because I don't really have anyone else like that. I have close friends that I see regularly, but like when I talk with you, it's like a whole nother playing field.
because there's no I mean, there's judgment, of course, but there's no like persecution, I guess is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
There's no social persecution. Like you could say whatever you wanted to me, and I'll be like, cool, man. You know, and I'll move on to the next thing, or I'll give you shit about whatever you said, and then I'll move on to the next thing. But it doesn't. You recognize the meaninglessness, but also the value.
Yeah.
In speaking into an outlet that isn't gonna fucking bite you or some shit.
I think my best analogy is one person is like a Beatles guy, one person is like a Stones guy, and they're best friends because they don't really give a shit about like the other person being a Beatles or Stones guy.
I mean, I like them both personally.
Well, me too, but I'm talking about personality wise. It's like I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll, but we don't really care because we're both gonna be drinking and whatever.
We both struggle with depression. We're kind of like and to avoid staying on it too long, this is like our support system. It's like a low budget therapy session.
It really is. It really is. Because on episode 9 or 8, whatever one.
I'm sorry, what?
No, it really. What?
You're referencing an episode? I don't fucking remember what we talk about.
Motherfucker. I'm saying. We got another lizard here.
Sorry. That's gonna be a thing.
But one of the podcasts that we did, I don't remember which one. Was like the morning after I had a huge breakup, and yeah, it was oddly therapeutic, even though we didn't talk about it really much. It was weirdly therapeutic to just not talk about it and talk about. I think we were talking about bears going extinct or something. Rhinos going extinct. And
yeah, no, I remember that kind of.
Oh yeah, and I was stoned out of my head. No, that was a great one.
Yeah. And all the time you were just talking, all I could think of, there's gotta be a morning after. Because I heard you say the morning after, and then the song just started playing in my head, and I'm like, why is that song in my fucking head right now? Get it out. Anyways, that was the whole time while you were talking. But yeah, rhinos, I remember that.
I feel like it's important for me to say that I haven't drank in about probably 2 months now.
Get this boy a medal.
I mean, I've gotten high once. It was during a live stream of Resident Evil, and you can tell I was high because I just got really quiet, and I was still playing the game, but my face was that dazed kind of looking into the sun kind of look of yeah. And then I realized I was doing that, and I became overly animated at every little thing. Yeah. That was fun. That was a fun time. But I don't really like it right now. I'm not going to say I quit because I'm 25. I'm not going to quit. But I'm going to take a break on it. And yeah. Yeah, I want when I do get drunk or high, I want to be able to feel it and not.
If you think Alex is a sinner, come to my website, prayersforjesus.com, okay? And we can all pray for him.
Don't do it. I've been to that church. It's full of lizard people, and they brainwash you into buying Aquafina. Don't fucking do it. I swear to God.
Okay, guys, I have to tell you. I'm drinking Aquafina right now.
Fucking do it. Patrick's a lizard person. He is here to brainwash you. He already brainwashed me. Just listen to any other podcast other than this one. No, listen to
this one. Listen to this one. Fuck is wrong with you? You're just like, I don't care about any of you people. Brenda! Brenda's my imaginary secretary. She always will be.
That would be an interesting podcast.
Even though she sucks at her job. My coffee's always cold. Anyways.
That would be an interesting podcast to just constantly like tell people to not listen to the current podcast.
I think there actually is a podcast called Don't Listen to This Podcast. There is actually one called that, yeah.
What? I wonder what they talk.
What?
I wonder what they talk about.
I don't know. I can't imagine a lot of people do because they don't listen to it. But there is a podcast called Don't Listen to This Podcast. I have never listened to it, and this is an unintentional plug, but I feel like we should change the name of ours to Don't Admit You Listen to This Podcast. But share it with everybody. I don't listen to this, but hey, maybe you should. Don't tell anybody that you do.
But I was a little weary on starting tonight's podcast, but I feel like we've kind of hit a groove.
Sure, Alex, address it. Hey, remember when you said that on like the second episode? You're like, yeah, Patrick, just address that we've had a good podcast. I'm like, yeah, why not? You fucking nazi.
No, but I'm not going to dwell on it because that would be weird to spend 5 minutes like, yeah, this is going great. This is going great.
Why don't you talk about the texture of your prison wall?
Wait, if your secretary's name is Brenda, what would mine be?
I mean, probably Sharon.
What? Oh, okay, I'll take Sharon. Sharon!
Oh, you'll take Sharon?
I'll take Sharon.
I actually like that. I think, hey, people, I'm just going to openly acknowledge this as a bit, but I like that idea. So anytime we disagree with something, instead of like swearing or like telling the other person to stop talking, we're just going to yell at our secretaries.
Sharon, order more Post-it notes.
Like, listen, I've got a perfect example. So did you hear about that thing Trump did the other day? He was really like being really rude to that Asian woman. See, and then I just immediately stop.
Give me my cloak.
Give me my shotgun.
Give me my 45 now.
They didn't have any.
She comes back with my gun, and I'm like, no, my records. Give me my 45 records.
And the adapter.
I want to listen to the Hollies all night.
Brenda, what the fuck is all this Pepsi doing in here? Well, they didn't have any Coke. They just had Pepsi. You're so useless.
I would rather you kill this and I drank the blood.
Okay, see, now I think we're getting into like Alice Cooper territory, where we're just beating on these imaginary people, and that's wrong.
Well, Alice Cooper has a song called Nurse Jackie, I think.
And he would like have this doll at the concert and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never been, but yeah.
It's funny that you brought up Alice Cooper because I had this Alice Cooper song stuck in my head all day. It's called Cold Ethel.
Are you making a joke right now, or are you being serious?
I'm being serious. He has a song called Cold Ethel, and it's about necrophilia, but it's so fucking catchy. And
so guys, let's start a tally, if you will. So I pegged him for something he said, and pegged's a really bad. But I got him on something he was thinking about, and he got me on something I was thinking about. It's fucking sick, guys. It's fucking sick. I'm gonna go drink bleach.
Sharon, bring me my bleach.
Fuck, Britta, what are you doing, Britta? You're not allowed to be on personal calls right now.
The fact that, like, okay, I like this bit better than the anti-Semitic Minnie Mouse.
I do too. I like this. We're growing. You guys see, we're growing. We're growing as a podcast.
We went from anti-Semitic humor to abusing our imaginary secretaries.
Which is totally okay. Very 50s. So, Brenda!
You know,
write this on my calendar.
Eventually, we're going to reach a point where we actually will have assistants or secretaries, and we're just going to call them those names still. My name's Jessica. Brenda, shut up!
Yeah. Shut up, Sharon! Yeah. This is like some mild form of Tourette's, but I think it's actually healthy if I don't have an aneurysm.
I don't think it's Tourette's. I think it's just I've always said my favorite form of humor is 0 to 100 humor.
Yeah.
You know, so you're like just jumping out of nowhere out of a plane, you know, naked. That's the funniest shit to me. Yeah.
Who are you quoting? That's a comedian. Comedian said that.
I don't think so. I just made that up.
Oh. Well, then a comedian did say it. Da-da-da.
Are you calling me funny?
Absolutely not. Brenda! Get that cut from the tape.
No, we don't edit on anything on Unedited. We can't do it.
Brenda! you shut up and you listen.
Every interaction.
We can't let this get out.
Every interaction with Brenda it's Brenda, right? Not Brenna.
Yeah, it's Brenda. Why?
Okay. Every interaction.
Say her name right.
Every sentence that you speak to her, you have to scream her name first.
Yeah.
So
I need to know her. Need to know that she knows that I'm talking to her.
Yeah, so it's like, Brenda, where's my car? Oh, it's out. It's out in the garage. Brenda, go get my car. I can't if you don't give me the keys. Brenda, you lost my fucking keys.
Listen, actually, I want to say this so we don't get lit up, even though we might already get lit up. People are going to be like, why are they being so rude to women? And it's like, they're not real. So chill. It's okay.
I said imaginary secretaries. I made it clear.
I made it clear too. But guess what? There's going to be like some weird feminazi SJW character, and they're going to be like, listen, it doesn't matter. They're imaginary. They're real. You're expressing bad habits. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, wait. Now, I could see someone taking what we're saying as like, well, it's showing that they would have no respect for their assistants. And I'm like, I just want to stress, we're trying to be funny. So I don't know if you don't, it's one thing to not find the joke funny, but we find it funny. If you don't find it funny, you can choose not to listen and go away.
Yeah.
That's why I've always had a problem with people having problems with comedians trying out bits, because just leave.
Yeah.
Why? The guy is there trying to make you laugh with material he wrote. I don't go to a concert and say I don't like that song he wrote. He wrote that song. Like, you could have done your research and listened to the song and not gone to the concert.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Brenda. I'm sorry. Could you please take out the fucking garbage? Anyways, I'm sorry. I said please. I hate that. It's funny to me.
Sharon, please take out the trash.
But basically.
Oh God.
That's satisfying. You know what? Listen, if you don't make up your own imaginary secretary right now, you're dead inside. You're fucking dead inside. Go make up an imaginary secretary, and every time you forget something, yell at the secretary. Serious. Just in your day-to-day life. Even you're alone. Even if you're alone.
If you're at work and something goes bad, just in your head, just start going, Brenda!
Brenda! What the hell were you thinking? Bring me pictures of Spider-Man.
But I can't get pictures of Spider-Man because he flies so fast. You fucking Brenda!
I don't need to hear excuses. If you guys aren't enjoying this, I don't know what's wrong with you.
I just want to see how far we can go. I don't even want to stop it anytime soon. I just want to see how far we can keep going.
Well, just have your secretary map quest it.
Like, what if you did have a secretary? Here's a question: if you did have a secretary, I don't even care what job you would need a secretary for. What would be like the one weird quirk thing that you would have them do? Like, you know how some people like, Brenda, I need you to go pick up my dry cleaning or something random and weird like that. What would be the one random thing you would have your secretary do?
Not call me by my name. That's probably the weird thing I would have her do.
Why is that so fucking funny to me?
I would literally say, "Hey, you don't call me Mr. Thomas. You don't call me by my first name. You don't call me anything. You just say, hey. You just say, sir. You say something. You don't say my name."
Like, could she call you dude or whatever?
Yeah, anything she wanted to.
But not Thomas or Mr.
Not
Thomas
Patrick.
or
yeah.
What about boss? Like, hey, boss.
No, that's too. Nah, I don't like that either. I got to be chill, man. But at the same time, she's guys, I got the fucking trash.
Now, I want everyone to imagine a scene. All right, Pat. I want you to be in this scene. You're having a very intense meeting, and it's not like shouting match or anything, but it's just very numbers oriented. And it's like, all right, as you can see here, the quarters in the final chapter are going really low. We need to build our quarterly earnings up before anything, because if we get too low, we'll have to start letting people go.
I respect what I respect what you're trying to do here.
And then I just imagine a very quiet meeting, and then just screaming, "Sean!" like
Brenda,
the meeting is.
You better go out there and make some fucking babies to buy our products, okay? I don't care if it takes you 10 years.
Like, I just imagine this very quiet board meeting, and like Brenda's behind you, like half asleep, taking notes, and you just scream, "Brenda!" and she like shits herself.
Oh man, that could be like a reoccurring thing in a comedy. Like she hits her head or like falls over or something like stupid, or like accidentally gets a door closed on her or something. Like, I don't know. They make that happen in movies, right? Like, that's a thing.
Yeah, like she'll be bringing in coffee or breakfast, and you'll just, and then she'll like throw the coffee up on the ceiling or something.
Yeah, like a goof, like a funny thing, not like a harmful thing. Anyways, I think we're about a
Seinfeldian thing.
I think we're at like our time, probably pretty close. I
bet we can go for another 10 hours.
Yeah, no. I think we're about to call. Anyways, guys, if you've enjoyed the ride so far, yell at your secretaries for us. and you know what? We live in a very progressive society. Your secretary could be a man. and that's fine too. You can be like, Thomas.
All right. My question for everyone. If you see this on the Facebook or on the YouTube or wherever that you can comment, what would your assistant / secretary's name be?
Yeah.
And what would be your weird quirk that you would have them do? Like not saying your name or, making them do your trash or your toes or something. I don't know. Like, what would your secretary's name be?
I'm imagining a T-shirt with like a coffee cup that's like spilling coffee or throwing coffee in the air. And the text is just simply this: yell at your secretary. And I think that would be a decent shirt, honestly. Like all it says is yell at your secretary. And that represents so much more. It means let it out. That's how I feel.
I feel like it should say yell at your assistant. Because secretary is so... it feels like it's degrading.
Listen, assistant is more degrading than secretary.
Well, isn't secretary terminology for a woman assistant?
No, it's not just a woman assistant. It's assistant.
Are you sure?
Disregard my speech impediment.
I feel like it's like what do they call the women in the planes?
Flight attendant?
Well, there was another word that they had.
Stewardess?
Yeah, stewardess. It's like that. There's no male stewardesses. They are?
Yeah. They're called stewards.
Or
flight attendants.
Shows how much I know.
I mean, you're onto something. You're onto something, Johnson.
But just to reiterate, check out our Twitches. Mine is Black Tull TULL 89. Black Tull 89.
Don't do that out right now, Alex.
Why? We're gonna be streaming soon.
All right.
Now, what's your Junior Aces 20?
We are the world. We are the children.
What's your friggin' Junior Aces 29, 28, 24?
3.
23.
Alex.
Junior Aces 23. Follow Patrick.
How do you remember the name but not the number? The number is so easy.
I don't fucking pay attention. You're lucky I remember who I'm talking to half the time.
We love the women's and we respect the women's. I respect the women so much. I'm not in a relationship, so I'm doing you all a favor. And I just want to make that clear.
Don't end on that note. That's such a weird note to end on.
It's not weird.
We need to end on a good note. Like
that's a good note. That's just to say we're not women haters as much.
You shouldn't have to say it.
Yeah. Well, we were just yelling at imaginary secretaries for like a solid 15 minutes.
I just want the world to know I don't enjoy throwing babies. That is just the one thing I am not. I do not enjoy throwing babies.
Like if you put a baby in front of me, I definitely would not pick it up with my hands and throw it. That would definitely not happen. So don't worry if for some reason you ever leave your baby unattended in front of me with my bare hands empty, because I will definitely not throw it.
It's like those guys that like they use the joke, "Oh, don't worry about me. I'm not a rapist." Like, "Oh, why'd you even bring that up? Just don't say it."
That's true, actually. So maybe I do have a little bit of animosity. If I'm being honest, I might have a little bit of mistrust, but that's all. That's natural, right? We all have childhood trauma. Anyways,
all right.
But seriously, I think we should call it.
Yeah, I feel like we're reaching the end of our rope. Yeah. Just what's your secretary's name? Leave it.
Next break.
Oh, don't remind me. Leave your comments below. What would be your assistant / secretary's name? Let us know in the comments wherever they are.
And don't forget, always yell at your secretary. Otherwise, they're going to get promoted and you're just going to be dead. All right?
Yeah,
your secretary. Your secretary is, in a philosophical sense, what I'm yelling at, it's just to get out the pent up aggression or frustration of life, and that's what I mean. And make it your secretary. Make your pain, your struggle, make it your bitch. That's what I'm saying. Make your problems your bitch, because you can handle them, and they're better take out that fucking trash. Anyways, yeah, right. Depression. You hear me? You hear me? Depression. All right. We love you guys, and make sure to listen to us on all different. Well, you don't have to listen to us on every single platform, but we're available on every platform, and we appreciate you.
Spotify, Google Play, all that. We're there.
All that business. And on the Facebook page, we post every episode that we do, at least a link to it. So if you follow that, you'll always get a notification, even if Anchor drops the ball. All right. We love you. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Brenda!
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.